Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Bitcoin price prediction based on Elliott Wave analysis. This is the indicators analysis for Bitcoin. We're gonna see what happened, what it might happen next. So basically, as we mentioned yesterday in the deep analysis, please go back for the macro levels analysis and what we might expect, of course, in the next days. And currently, of course, we're still in the micro level for our bear market here to finish up, of course, the wave C expanding flat around the 68k, 70k. And currently, of course, we're still pushing for lower as expected. The W, the X here as a triangle, and the wave Y has been played perfectly. And we saw, of course, this pass unfolding there and still unfolding toward the downside. I believe, of course, the 1-2, wave 3 is unfolding, 4 and a 5. Unfinished wave 3, of course, as a 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5 here, of course, to unfold something even much more deeper. And we might expect the 85k here, or at least to take, of course, the low one more time again here for Bitcoin, meaning, of course, I would like to see the low to be taken, okay, or low to be taken there. So at least I'm looking for this one, yeah. So because wave 5 can be, of course, short, maybe it will not hit perfectly the target because it might finish the 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5, but I believe, yeah, it is very, very likely that this target can be easily taken, honestly. 85k, 85k, 700 and around that would be, of course, an easy target for Bitcoin still, since we are impulsive toward the downside here, yeah. This is regarding Elliott Wave, of course, based on the indicators. We're gonna see, of course, KGT, RSI, MACD, and of course the volume for today, and the EMAs as well are interesting. So starting with the KGT here, where we are looking on the 1-minute chart, we can see clearly that we have an invalidation of the bullish scenario. The low has been taken several times, no signal of strength. We're still looking here, of course, at something to be bearish. Despite that, you have here double signals, but you got invalidation. That means whatever you will get here, it's gonna be corrective. And this is currently our wave 4 as a 1, 2, 3, wave 4 and a 5. And you still have a major wave 1, 2, meaning wave 3 to be finished still. Now, to catch it even much more stronger internally, you can also check inside it much more. You see, of course, that you're still very bearish on the 30-second chart as well, and also very, very bearish as invalidation for the bullish as well, meaning everything happening here is corrective. Is gonna continue the drop toward the downside soon as you get another signal there in confluence, of course, with this previous signal in the bearish as well. So very interesting. We're still looking, of course, at selling pressures here for Bitcoin, and we might still drop down towards the 85 as expected as per Elliott Wave here after the wave 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5. This is a confirmation from KGT. If we move also to the RSI here, so actually we're gonna do the RSI and MACD together at the same time, because it gives us even much more influence here for the price and what is going on. So on the 1-hour chart, of course, we still will on the RSI below the center line, which is, of course, a pressure here playing as a resistance key, and then pushing potentially continuously toward the downside. We still can see, of course, continuation, also convergences from the tops here, meaning selling pressure, of course, still over there. On the MACD for the 1-hour chart, well, despite that, we are looking at some bullish momentum, but don't forget that this is, of course, an invalidation on the KGT as well, which is much more accurate regarding this correction. And of course, it might be a correction there, and here we are. The momentum is decreasing right now. And anyway, the MACD and the signal lines still, of course, below the center line, and they might still, of course, coming back for a lower. So nothing yet is bullish as well for the RSI and MACD on the 1-hour chart. Sorry, this is a 15-minute chart. Even on the 1-hour chart, we have hit the low here on the RSI. We took the oversold area. However, it might still, of course, continue the drop toward the downside. On the MACD, we're still very open here for the MACD and the signal line, and showing, of course, that the momentum is decreasing here. Yes, increasing, but yeah, currently the latest few hours it is decreasing, but I believe that we might still see continuation for something lower there. Despite that, this of course can start to create some kind of divergence, and at the same time with the price action here between the RSI, when you get of course one more low there, which it might be your wave 5, it might create here divergence, and we might start to push for higher after finishing the wave 5, of course. So I'm still expecting a wave 5 as we mentioned in the Elliott Wave analysis. On the 4-hour chart as well, we still, of course, the momentum is totally bearish here on the MACD. We are in bearish cross even below the center line. So this is, of course, the most bearish scenario that you might see, of course, on the MACD, decreasing the momentum, bearish cross, and still below the center line. This is very, very bearish. It might unfold something very deep and aggressive. The same also for the RSI. Is still, of course, resisting here from the center line, and we're still looking for something lower. It might be, of course, something to create a divergence after the second low here. By all means, you might get, of course, a lower prices and creating a divergence here within the RSI to start to push toward the upside later on. But of course, wave 5 has to be finished yet. Of course, we're not ready to push for higher yet for Bitcoin. Yep, so these are the price predictions for the 4-hour chart as well. If we take a look at the daily as well, the daily is still in red, especially the MACD is still very, very open here. The signal and the MACD line are still very open for something very bearish to unfold toward the downside. So also the RSI did not took, of course, the oversold area yet. Of course, we're coming directly from the top here, breaking the middle line. This is a signal of weakness there. We're looking, of course, for something deeper in the RSI as well. On the weekly, we still, of course, are below the center line, and the MACD and the signal line still, of course, open, meaning, more bearish can still accumulate here. It's not necessarily to increase the momentum so much here. Even with small momentums on the weekly, of course, can bring us over there to finish, of course, a wave C in an expanding flat ABC and then pushing toward the upside. This is exactly what I'm looking for also on the RSI, to hit, of course, the oversold area on the RSI weekly and then start the bull run towards the 200K here for Bitcoin. That's very interesting, of course. On the weekly, we are looking at a very nice signal that we might see in the next weeks. So this is regarding the RSI and the MACD from the 15-minute chart to the weekly. Finally, I would like to see also the EMAs here. So as you can see, the EMAs, the 100 EMA on the weekly is very close to be broken, and I believe that this time we're gonna hit, of course, the 200 EMA, and then starting again is the same as every push for Bitcoin in the all-time history. So we need this 200 EMA to be hit and then pushing towards the upside. I believe that the things are very clear on the chart. Very likely that we take, of course, the 68K and we start to see a resistance from there after an ABC expanding flat in confluence with the EMA line here. On the daily, we have a very bearish cross between the EMA 200 and the EMA 100. That means, very, very open bearish signal there. We must still drop, of course, very low to the 68K as expected. So this is also very bearish signal on the EMAs as well. For our chart is renewing the bearish cross there. For our wave 5, that it might continue to drop, of course, downward. And I'm still expecting anyway continuation here for the drop. So I'm expecting that this EMA start, of course, to open until we reach, of course, our expanding flat there, wave C, and start to see something bullish as a bullish cross. Of course, we need to take the lows there. So we need to take the 68 even lower than this. So expect a very massive drop, guys, for Bitcoin on the 4 hours chart. Also on the 1 hour chart, EMAs are still very open after a bearish cross there. We can see, of course, that this is dropping impulsively and we're still expecting a wave 5 to unfold toward the downside. Yep, so these are the indicators, guys. Analysis, obviously everything is bearish still, and we're still pushing, of course, for lower prices. And of course, don't forget to watch the deep analysis from yesterday, because it shows exactly where are we heading. Of course, very likely that we are in this scenario on the daily here as an ABC. And of course, this wave C is an ending diagonal, 68K to be hit. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye bye.